From Louisiana's home team, this is Fox 8 News at 9 p.m.
Nobody throws a party quite like New Orleans, but city leaders take every chance they get this week to press the point that the post-Katrina New Orleans also means business. And this super city that so many doubted actually has a story to tell. A great fire once devoured much of Chicago. The city rose from the ashes, its best days ahead. A massive earthquake rocked San Francisco. Broken gas pipes ignited fires that consumed the city. After the Great Shake, San Francisco arose from the rubble. After Katrina, New Orleans marinated for weeks. Waterlogged and already declining before the storm, critics said the city was doomed. No phoenix rises from water, or so they said. The NFL championship is New Orleans' debutante ball, a city proclaiming a renaissance.
There is nowhere in the United States where you can do more for less and get a better return than in the post-Katrina New Orleans.
These empty desks tell a story of revival. GE Capital is filling them with 300 people who will design software at the company's new technology center in the CBD.
One of the reasons that we came to New Orleans was because of what we saw happening on the ground here.
GE's Mike DeBoer believes they are in on the early stages as a tech community sprouts in New Orleans.
You know, a lot of people ask me why New Orleans, and I'm like, why not?
Gameloft picked the city for its second U.S. studio, 150 jobs. Cranes tower over the Biomedical Research Center under construction. Statewide, the list of job creators goes on. Sasol picked Southwest Louisiana to build a giant plant to convert natural gas to liquid. The state estimates it'll mean 7,000 direct and indirect jobs and a total investment of close to $20 billion.
This project will be roughly 8 to 10 times the size of a major auto plant.
But wait a minute, this is Louisiana. When it comes to job creation, last in everything that matters and first in everything that's bad. Suddenly, Louisiana has started topping some very important lists. Forbes magazine calls the state the new frontier for business. Business Facilities magazine rates Louisiana #1 in job training. Reuters calls us Silicon Valley on the bayou.
The old culture, which was a culture where we were competing against Mississippi instead of the world, a culture that celebrated being conservative instead of being innovative, that culture, I think, has really been shaken up.
Some of it amounts to simple math. GNO Inc. estimates setting up shop in the city can be 30 to 40% cheaper than in San Francisco or New York. The state wiped out a host of business taxes, including the sales tax companies used to pay when they bought manufacturing equipment. Some of the post-Katrina questions about New Orleans, whether we could even live here, have been largely answered, with $14 billion in new hurricane defenses. But this unique place faces unique challenges.
Is that New Orleans is really a victim of its own marketing in some cases.
Todd Rossnagel with Louisiana Economic Development points out, Google New Orleans and you find lots of fun, or a very negative view.
And there was really nothing in between that said New Orleans is a fantastic place where me and my family can thrive.
The state created this online video.
But per capita, there's no place that's as interesting as New Orleans.
To peel away some of the mysteries about New Orleans for professionals thinking about relocating their families.
Come to New Orleans. I mean, we have so much to offer. We have great museums, we have great parks.
You can have a really active and wonderful social life in this city.
In some cases, as strange as it may sound, is people were wondering, is New Orleans normal? They have this image of New Orleans being this really quirky, fun place to visit, but do you have to live in a shotgun house?
The fact is that we've sold New Orleans, and in that sense really Louisiana, for so long as 4 blocks of Bourbon Street, that trying to rebrand and re-credentialize this place as a place that's culturally rich, but also has some gravitas and is a wonderful place to have a company. That's a branding process that's going to take some years.
From 1960 to 2005, New Orleans suffered a steady decline in jobs, population, national reputation, significance. Even the people who recruit new companies concede part of the revival stems from $150 billion in government and insurance money that poured in after Katrina.
And so the real question going forward is going to be, as the Katrina money gets spent down, as we approach the 10th anniversary, and as our energy kind of naturally attenuates, are we going to be able to sustain this remarkable progress going forward?
Michael Hecht with GNO Inc. believes the city must develop what he calls a critical mass of companies and workers to make the growth last. The oil bust 30 years ago ripped away a facade, exposing an economy with few real strengths.
What is different about the current boom is that it is intentional. We are building it from the ground up.
Yeah, make no mistake, there are still major challenges facing New Orleans. Top on the list, being crime, education, and poverty issues, no question.
This week, basking in the NFL's glow, the city and the state get to tell a new story of Katrina fading into memory. Economic development leaders insist the best chapters are yet to be written.
Louisiana is getting positioned to be the economic powerhouse of the South.
Over the next few years, Stephen Morey believes that the total investment in Louisiana will have added up to $50 billion, or he believes larger than the 1970s oil boom.